Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, y'all. Nicole Roberts Jones here, the Bankroll Brilliance expert. Excited to be here. It's been a while, right? So you'll notice my background is a little different, and it's different only because I have just moved. That's where I've been. I've been on hiatus, but I've been moving since we were on hiatus. And so I'm not in my new studio yet. But I didn't want you to have to wait another week for an episode of Bankroll Your Brands Thursdays, a time where of course, I'm teaching you all things making multiple streams of income from what you already know. But in order to do that, we have to talk about three critical areas. And here they are: standing in the full power of your brilliance. The second is the value tied to it. And the third one is multiple streams of revenue. So, listen, in any episode, we could be talking about any of those three. Today, I'm actually talking from two and three. As I talked to you about, a successful business needs more than marketing. You'll see I have notes, right? You're going to see me looking down, right? So, let me just tell you up front. Now, before I start going in, let me first invite you to tell me hello, right? As my grandmother would say, don't come in the house and not speak. So tell me hello, tell me name and where you're from. As you are talking and you see me looking to the side, just see that I'm looking for your comments. So I want you to say hello. That's first. Second, if I say anything that resonates with you, I am such a church girl. Like, I am loud in church. If you ever hear me in church, I'm the one that's going, yes, making all the noises as the preacher's preaching. And because I'm that girl, I love to hear that here in social media. So I want to see your comments. I want to know when things are resonating with you because I'm here for you, right? And so you do that. You give me heart emojis. You tell me in the comments what's resonating with you. And then third thing I want you to do is, if you, hey, my Renata from Brooklyn, BK in the house, as you have questions, I want you to post them because I want to honor your questions here in Bankroll Your Brands Thursdays. I'm here every Thursday at noon to give you insight to get paid for what you know. All right. So, hey, Paulette from Pontiac, Michigan. I actually know where that is, right? So, with that said, y'all, let's get into today's conversation. Now, here's the thing I want you to get. I have been doing this for 28 years. Hey, Sharina in California. I'm from California. So I now live in DC. By the way, those of you that have been here for a while, you know that I lived in Boston. So in the last month, I've moved. I'm now in the DMV area. And real quick story. So we had so much stuff in our house, we had to get a third moving truck. We already had two. A third one had to come, and the third one wasn't on the contract, so there was no third driver. So that third car has not come yet, which is why my studio is not together, because half my studio stuff is on that third truck and half is here. So I'm in my office. I had to make do with what I had, right? Because again, I didn't want you to have to wait another week. I'm committed. When I tell you I'm coming somewhere, when I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm a woman of my word, right? So I said I'd be back September 9th, and here we are. I have missed y'all. Have you missed me? Hey, Cheryl in Brooklyn. And yeah, you got another BK sister in the house here. So listen, there's more than five of y'all here. I'm just saying, at least say hi. Hey, girl, hey. All right. So those of you that this is your first time, tell me it's your first time. You have to know you need to always have a pen and a paper. 30 minutes or less of actionable insight so that you can move your purpose into your paycheck so you can get paid for what you know, right? So today's conversation is a conversation I have all too often as I meet entrepreneurs, whether it's, well, it was before COVID at a speaking event. I had the pleasure to meet so many people. I'm still speaking at events, but most of them are still virtual. Or you've missed me. I know that's right, Paulette. I've missed y'all. Whether it's at a speaking event, whether it's I get to talk to you as you become a client, or anywhere in between. And this is one of the places that I see so many people suffer. Good. Welcome, Sharina. It's her first time. Yes, right. It's our first date, girl. You'll know what that means in a second as I share this. So this is a critical area. So we often hear, when you start a business, you need marketing. But can I tell you, you need more than marketing? Just listen, you can go buy the latest marketing program and begin to implement it in your business, and you realize it's not working. And I'm going to tell you exactly why it's not working, because it leaves out your secret sauce. It leaves out your DNA, your distinct natural ability. And you have to understand that when God wired you, He brought you on earth in a specific way to do specific work. And so when you're using a cookie cutter to do anything that you do, the reason it doesn't work is because it's not in alignment with who you be. So in order to have a successful business, you need more than marketing. And I'm going to tell you what that more is. But let me tell you the three areas I see so many entrepreneurs fail when it comes to businesses. And if any of this sounds like you, tell me. And if you have questions, again, please post them. Hey, Rosin in New Jersey. I got all my East Coast girls in the house, except for my one Cali girl. But I'm from California, by the way. And I live in the DMV now. Anyway, so three common mistakes. One, I call it being Facebook famous and broke. So you can have all the likes on Facebook, you can have millions of subscribers, but if you're not speaking from your brilliance, from your intellectual property, from your blueprint as you post in social media, even as you stand on stage as a speaker, listen, I am a phenomenal relationship coach. I could give some great, well, I do give great relationship advice to my girlfriends, but my business is not based on relationships. So you're not going to see me post any relationship, anything in any place I go. I might post my husband and I pictures, but I'm not going to speak from a relationship coach place because then it confuses people about the brand called me. And I can probably get famous on some of the good relationship nuggets that I've gotten, right? Hey, Teresa in California. But when I do that, I'm doing two things. I'm I'm actually not in alignment with the one thing God has called me to do or be. And then I'm confusing my brand conversation. And you have to understand a confused mind doesn't buy. So if people don't understand who you are and what you do, they're confused. So it's not about being Facebook famous. It's about really allowing people to see who you be. I'm gonna talk to you more about that in a second. The second issue I see so many entrepreneurs have is I call it Millie Vanilli syndrome. Now, some of y'all gonna make me feel old, and I talked about this on Clubhouse this morning. By the way, I'm on Clubhouse every single morning at 8:30, Monday through Friday. That's my invitation. I didn't make a square about this. Those of you that want to join me on Clubhouse is bankrollbreakfastclub.com. Somebody type this in the comments because I didn't make a thing with this. Bankrollbreakfastclub.com. So I talked about this morning on Clubhouse. Literally, I see so many people have what I call Millie Vanilli syndrome. So those of you that don't know who Millie Vanilli is, don't make me feel old. They were a group that came out in the early 90s. I think it was like in 90 or 91. They won a Grammy for Best New Artist. They won that Grammy. They got all the accolades around winning a Grammy. And then next thing you know, we find out that they were lip syncing on that track, on the entire track, the entire album, meaning that somebody else was singing the song and they lip synced over it. Well, so many of you guys are doing this in your business. When you take this, people give you scripts. Read this script and sell this way, or do this post. And here's a little blanket post. You just put your information in it and you do it. It's like, no, when you're doing things based on the script, when you're doing things based on this cookie cutter approach, it leaves out your secret sauce. Thank you, Renata. It's bankrollbreakfastclub.com. Just write .com on there, right, for me, right? And so you need to understand that God did not use a cookie cutter when he made you. The thing I think is so interesting about thinking about how God created each of us. Listen, I call, those of you that have been in my community, you'll hear me say DNA all the time. Your DNA, which is distinct natural ability. Thank you, y'all. Y'all are on it today. Thank you, Paulette. Distinct natural ability. That's what I mean when I say DNA. So I did this whole study on DNA a couple years ago. And here's the thing I think is so interesting. We each have 4.6 billion. And if I'm wrong with the 4.6, if it's 2.4, it's still billions of cells that make up who you be. And the thing that I think is so interesting is no two of us have the same molecular makeup. Oh, God was really specific when he made each of us. And if that's the case, then you've got to understand when you use a cookie cutter based on somebody else's DNA, it's going to set you up to fail. It might work the first time you use it. You use it over and over again, it's not going to work because it's not in alignment with who you are. And I see so many entrepreneurs fall into the Milli Vanilli syndrome trap because they're doing things. Or, one of the things one of my clients asked me is when I was going to do one of those Instagram videos where I'm pointing. I'm like, never, because it's oversaturated. Everybody's doing it, which makes me not want to do it. But is that in line with my brand? It might be, but I'm not going to be a cookie cutter. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Right. The third issue I see so many entrepreneurs have around marketing is they use industry or industry logo or a lingo, rather lingo. So what do I mean by that? So if I am an expert, and I am, and technically, y'all, whether many of you guys don't know this, I'm a social worker. My master's degree is in social work. My expertise in social work is, back then they called it COPA, Community Organizing Planning Administration. So what I learned how to do is develop programs, which is what I actually end up teaching my clients. Between my entertainment industry background producing and my social work producing programs, it blends the two together. I'm saying that because there's a whole lot of industry lingo, don't say logo again, that if I said those things to you, you would know what I was talking about. Well, I see so many people do this when they're posting things on social media, where they're standing on stage and they're sharing as a speaker. One of the things I cannot stand is when I see a speaker speaking from what I call a mountaintop, where they're talking at you and making themselves feel self important. You're not being a speaker for you, you're being a speaker for every person that needs you. See, a real marketing plan is going to serve and not sell. And so, in order to talk to you about why you need more than marketing, I call it dating, right? And now my clients out here, Renata is here. You know all about this girl because you hear about it all the time, right? So, think about what dating is. Dating is relationship building. That's really what you want to do in your business. So bear with me. There are three things that relationships teach you that you should be adding in your business. So before I tell you those three things, I want you to think about it this way. If my husband came to our first date with my ring, I would have, this man is crazy. I would have been running. Because who asked anybody to marry them on the first date? Realistically, I know there's all kinds of TV shows that do that, right? But instead, he dated me for a while. I got to see who he was. I got to learn about him. I got to see the value that he brought. Same that he was looking and seeing who I was and all that fun stuff. And so you've got to do the same thing in your business. Your clients are dating you. Some of y'all are dating me right now. Hello. Some of y'all, this is our first date. Right? So with that said, Sharita, this is our first date, girl. So with that said, there's three things that dating teach you that you have to use in your business if you're going to be successful. Okay. The first one, and again, I'm looking at my notes if you see me looking down, right? So the first one, yes, Nicole teaches how not to be a one night stand. Come on, yeah, because I'm a long term relationship kind of girl. Come on, Renata. Renata said, let me put on the screen so I can say that. She said, Nicole teaches us how to not be a one night stand, right? I don't need you to be a booty call, right? I need you to understand if your business is going to be long term sustainable, there's some core messages, core concepts that dating teaches you that you should use as a CEO of your business. You ready? The first one is to be your true self. Now, how many of y'all have dated the representative? I'm raising my hand too. You know, the guy that acts like he is who he is, but he's not who he is. I remember one specific time back in the day in my 20s when I was going to the club. I still would go, by the way, if there was a club for seasoned folks with some nice music, lounge music. Anyway, let me focus. In my 20s, I remember this guy had been trying to talk to me and trying to talk to me and trying to talk to me. And so this particular night at this club that I used to frequent in LA, um, he says, do you have a pen? I said, no. He said, well, I have one in my car. Do you mind walking to my car with me? Not at all. And he was so mannerable and such a nice man, right? So we walked to his car and I realized this brother has me walking out to his car because he got a new car. So I said, oh, you wanted me to see your car, huh? He said, yep. I said, then don't get that pen. I'm not interested. And I walked back in the club. See, when someone is trying to impress you with things that are materialistic or not real to who they are, you can tell it off the bat. So you got to be true to you. Listen, my aunt used to say, if he really likes you, he's going to like you for who you are. You don't never have to shift who you are. So that's the first lesson that dating teaches you is that all you've got to do is show up and be you. Listen, you have nothing to hide, nothing to protect, nothing to defend. You can be all of you. There'll be parts of you that are brilliant and there'll be parts of you that are in breakdown. There'll be parts of you that are phenomenal and parts of you that are clueless. But that is normal. The question is, are you comfortable with that? You've got to be comfortable knowing that you don't have every answer. And although you don't have every answer, you do have somebody's answer. And stand clear and true to that. This is my business bestie said we were teaching together on Tuesday night. Is that Tuesday night? She said, everywhere you go, there you are. So you can't fake who you are because over time, it's just going to show. Another example I used this morning on Clubhouse. My good girlfriend, I hope she doesn't kill me. I'm not going to say her name. Her ex-husband now bought her a gift. They were still married then. And she put it on. Her son was young. And it was leather pants and this little leather top. And it had openings on the side. Y'all have seen this outfit. I'm sure you've seen this outfit. Somebody wore this in some club. Y'all have seen it. And she puts it on. And she said, I put it on only to show him that I'm putting it on to make him feel good. He bought me something, but I already knew I was taking it back. Because what woman at a certain age that has children wears anything with cutouts on the side is what she's saying to me. And so she puts it on. Her son is there too. And I think her son was 3. And he said, oh, mommy, I like your front stomach and your side stomach. What does that have to do with being your true self? Because some of y'all are trying to hide things. And what happens is it starts bubbling over. How many of y'all have ever worn a girdle? Well, I'm the only one. And you know, when you tighten up other areas, the extra that's been tightened hangs off the top. Come on, somebody. So you think you're hiding some things, but some things are bubbling over that are then seen. And some of you, that's what happens in your business. You're trying to cover up that this is happening in your personal life. But listen, your business can never outgrow you. So maybe you're going through a bad divorce. Don't act like people can't see that. Just like I just told you, I'm moving, so my lighting's probably not the same, and there's a whole lot of things that aren't the same. But guess what? It doesn't shift my brilliance. Right. Sharice said the girdles are different. Right. The right girdle doesn't make stuff bubble over. That was my first girdle experience. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation, y'all. But do you get that? Be your true self. I'm not saying don't wear a girdle, but what I am saying is the times that I have on a girdle, I have no problem telling people, girl, I got on a girdle. I can't eat no more because, and I've said this because my stomach won't let me because it's sucked in so tight, I can't eat. I have no problem being true and authentic to who I am. The question is, do you? And if you do, what is that about? You've got to get underneath that. Number two is show them value. Now, I said this a minute ago. Show them value. Hey, Tanya in H Town. So, when you're dating someone, it's all about the value you bring. So, listen, when you have a business and people are dating you or watching you or trying to see if you are their coach, they need to see the value you bring because it's only in them being able to see who you be that they can experience you. It's like building that know, like, and trust factor. That's what happens when you're dating. You're going on dates for a reason, for a purpose. In a good world, right? Ultimately, the goal of dating is to get married, right? Unless you decided I'm never going to get married again, but that's a whole nother conversation, y'all. The point is this. Even if you're looking at long term just dating because you don't want to get married, you still wouldn't be bothered with dating someone that's not bringing value to the table. So allow people to experience you. You should not think because you build it that they're going to buy it the first time they see it. That is an absolute lie. Because if people don't know who you are, they've got to experience you before they'll say yes. And those are first dates. So that's number two. Okay. And if you guys have questions about anything I'm sharing, please, by all means, ask me. Here's the other thing. Some of y'all are not even showing value. You think that if you're doing free webinars or you do free giveaways, some of those things are not in alignment with who you be. Going back to be your true self. The thing I think is interesting is so many entrepreneurs that I have the opportunity to meet. I don't care if you've been doing what you do for 5 years or you've been doing it for 5 minutes. Welcome, Cheryl, for your first time. Welcome to our first date, girl. If you've been doing this for 5 minutes or 5 years, if you are not clear on the brand called you, if you're not clear on your expertise and how to articulate it as a predictable result, not about what you do. See, people don't care about what you do. When people hire you, they want to know what's in it for me. Like, what do I get? What are you going to help me get to at the end? The example I always like to use is when I ever buy a plane ticket to go to LA, my hometown, I'm just looking at what time and how much and do I get to LA? I'm not asking, is the pilot a woman or a man? How many years has the pilot been in the industry? And what kind of flight path are they going to go on? And how many seats are on the plane? No, nobody asks all of that. But so many entrepreneurs go through all of that, which is way too much. That's not showing your value. That's listing out what we're going to do. That's not showing a thing. It's like if I went to my first day, my husband said, I can cook and I like to iron and I love. That doesn't show him who I am. Y'all get that? There's a big difference between listing out what we're going to work through and being able to speak to the result that happens when you work with me. The result for me with my clients is multiple streams of revenue. There's a whole lot of stuff we got to do to get there, but I don't walk you through the boring do because that's industry speak again. Do y'all get that? That's hindering so many marketing efforts because even in what I do, there's so many pieces to it. Listen, I come from production background. I can talk production all day long and I love it, which is a whole back end conversation that I do coach my clients through. But to tell y'all all of this right now, you'd be looking at me like this. I wouldn't be able to see you because it's overwhelming. It's a lot. But the ultimate result of all that I do with you is multiple streams of revenue. Do you get that? I'm using myself as an example because I need you to see, right? The last thing is know your worth and don't settle. The number of clients that come to me that don't know how to ask for a sale, that don't know how to make an invitation or are scared of it. And by the way, if you've never made one, being scared the first time is normal. See, when you are here in Bankroll, your Brilliance Thursdays, or whether I get to coach you as a client, you need to understand I'm never here for who you already are. I'm here for who you have not yet become. It's about expanding into your next level. It's about going after you abundantly above all you could ever wish or think. To be able to go after what you wish or think, you got to know your worth. You've got to be able to say, this is how much I cost, period, and be unapologetic and know the value that you bring and not accept anything less than that. It's also knowing that all money ain't good money. You need to know who your ideal client is, and when someone's not, turn it down. You need to know what your brand stands for and what's your blueprint, and anything that comes to you contrary to that. If someone invites you to speak at an event, I don't care if it's Barack Obama. If it's not a good fit for the brand called you, why would you go? And then people be confused about your brand, and then not you not be able to move their life or their business forward. It makes no sense. So that is, in essence, our conversation for today. Is if you're going to really have a successful business, you need more than marketing. You need to be building relationships. You need to understand that dating gives us some great, 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 great insight. For those of you that know, like you know, you need more, listen. Some of you have heard that I have a 2-day intensive coming up, and I want to invite you. Now, listen, for my Black doctor community, I have a couple limited $100 off coupons. You've got to send me an inbox message to get it. So I'm going to tell you to inbox me on Instagram, because Facebook, I have so many Facebook messages. I'll tell you more about Be the Answer in a minute, but I have a limited number of $100 off coupons. So send an inbox message to me if you know, like you know, I'm going to explain what Be the Answer is, to follow me on Instagram, and then send me an inbox message. N Roberts Jones is my Instagram handle. Okay. So with that said, let me tell you more about Be the Answer. Now, you can go and read about Be the Answer on my website. And listen, this is not a good fit for everyone. I get that. So I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to the woman that knows that it's her time. And fellas, you can come too. I'm talking to the woman that's on the edge of her seat and ready to really expand her brand, not just for her, but because she knows people need the gift in her. Maybe you've been in business for 5 years and you have not reached predictable revenue. I'm talking to you. Or you've been wanting to start a business and you don't know where to begin. Anywhere in between, this is for you. So this is for service-based businesses. If you have a cup line, a pen line, or something else, I can't help you. But when you want to take your intellectual property and understand how to build multiple revenue streams from it, whether you're an accountant, a lawyer, any kind of service professional, a trainer, an image consultant, a coach of some kind, a speaker, an author, all those things, this is for you. So in those 2 days, I walk you through what I call your more. And I'm going to tell you this quickly, and then we'll end our conversation for today. So MORE, that's my agenda in those 2 days. By the way, it's me and you. It's not an event where it's a bunch of speakers. I'm coaching you in those 2 days so that you leave with a actual strategy. Okay. So M is mastery of you. So when I just talked about being clear in your niche, listen, when you say things like I motivate, you're already not clear. I don't care what you say after I motivate. I empower, you're already not clear. If you're saying things I help women maximize their potential, yeah, that's not clear. So you've got to be able to speak to the predictable result. I walk you through an exercise in the room. I get excited, y'all. Okay. So that's mastery of you. It's way more than what I'm saying. Oh, it's optimize. Listen, I had it up here because I'm teaching from this on Clubhouse. Optimize means to make as effective, perfect, or useful as possible. So when you're looking at marketing, it's about optimizing your gift for the people that need you so they can see you. So in the second part of the first day at Be the Answer, I walk you through and recreate an optimized plan. What's the best way to optimize your gift to then let people see your value? Mm, so good, right? So then your message becomes your movement, because there is a movement underneath you. The question is, do you know what to do? And ask me questions, y'all, if you have any, as I'm sharing this. Then the third step, now listen, you need all 4 of these steps to have a successful business. I'm going to tell you, everybody that comes wants this third step. You won't get to it if you don't do step 1 and 2. Third is revenue. We create 6 streams of revenue in that room. We do an exercise called a revenue wheel, and I will help you figure out what streams of revenue are possible for you. Everybody can be making money while you sleep. The question is, do you know how? Mm-hmm. So that's the third. And the fourth is E. You leave with an execution plan. So you get a notebook. Listen, a workbook. I'm sending a swag box to your house with your workbook. You get a pen, a couple other gifts. But in that workbook, I work you through your 30, 60, 90-day plan of how you're going to move what I teach you forward. That's what Be the Answer is. So if you know, like you know, now is your time. I need you to claim your seat. I keep it intimate. We're halfway sold out. Might be a little more than halfway. You're about halfway sold out. So Be the Answer event.com is where you go. You see it there on your screen. And again, I have a limited number of $100 off tickets. If you know, like you know, now is your time and you want to get one of those, then send me an inbox message on Instagram. and say, hey, Nicole, I was on Black Doctor. Do you still have a coupon so I can get $100 off? And I'll let you know if I still have any left. So, with that said, that's our conversation for today. Again, I'm here every Thursday, 12 p.m. EST, to really give you insight, strategy to become the highest and best version of who God created you to be as you learn how to bankroll your brilliance. And let me stop for a minute and see if anybody has any questions about the marketing conversation we had today. Any questions at all? Or about Be the Answer, either way. So, by the way, Be the Answer is October 1st and 2nd. It's virtual. I didn't say this. And you do a as soon as you register, I gift you with an online program. And that online program really gives you insight to grow your capacity because I said this, I'm not coming for who you already are. So, how do we go after who you have not yet become? We've got to grow your capacity. 5 p.m. I pour everything I have into you to start and or grow your business. All right. So, with that said, I don't see any questions. So, as always, it's my honor and privilege to coach you, to teach you, to hold the space for you here at Bankroll Your Brains Thursdays. That you not only live as the highest and best version of who God created you to be, but that you go after the abundance that is your birthright. That is where we create your multiple streams of revenue from. All right. So, I will see you all. I'll see some of you starting in your activation and Be the Answer. The rest of you, I'll see you next Thursday. Have a phenomenal week. I will see you soon.